What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I am very excited for today. You can see behind me on the table, we got in our links for the FJ. So I am stoked. I've been waiting for these for probably a month now, maybe even longer, just because I had a company make these for me. Now, these aren't your average links. I could have just went and done DOM like a lot of people do, but I wanted to do something a little bit different. So let's open these up and let's check them out. There it is, guys. There's all of our links, all of our lowers, 3 uppers, and then I went all out and I did the steering, the tie rod, drag link, and the track bar. This is 7075 aluminum. This stuff is freaking beautiful, and guess what? It's solid bar. I went with 2 1/4 for the lowers, 2 inch for the uppers, and then 1.5 inches for the steering. They also engraved AVR Customs into them, and then along with the Summit Machine logo here, we are looking sweet, guys. This stuff, I am so excited to get these on the truck and see how they look. So let's talk about the differences between the 7075 aluminum and your typical quarter wall DOM that people typically would use on a build like this. Now, the biggest thing with the 7075 aluminum is that when you bend it, it has memory. So when you bend it, it'll actually straighten back out. Whereas DOM, if you bend DOM, it stays bent and it never straightens back out. This stuff is way stronger because this is solid bar. This is not tube. This is solid 2 1/4 for the lowers, 2 inch for the uppers, solid aluminum. This stuff is way stronger than your 1/4 inch DOM, and it's lighter. Now, I found the weights per foot for 2 inch quarter wall DOM and 2 inch 7075 aluminum, and I calculated that out. 3 feet of DOM would weigh 14 pounds. 3 feet of aluminum would weigh 11.5 pounds. So it is lighter, not that it's a huge deal, but it is lighter and it's stronger. It looks better. It's a little bit more expensive. Now, DOM is getting quite expensive, but this stuff is going to be a little bit more expensive. But the cool thing about it is there's no bungs you need to weld in. These things are threaded from Summit. They come threaded, they come tapered, they come with a little notch for a wrench. These things are all set up, ready to go. You don't really have to mess with them at all. You take your rod ends, you thread them in, you throw them on the truck. You don't have to worry about welding anything together. That is one benefit. Another benefit is there's no finishing, there's no paint. You can scratch these things up as much as you want. They're not gonna rust. You know, eventually it's aluminum, eventually it may corrode, but we are gonna run some anti-seize on the thread so that the threads don't corrode. But honestly, in 10 years, you could hit these things with some Scotch Brite. They'll look brand new again. You don't have to worry about these things degrading at all, rusting out over long periods of time. Now, if you guys are interested in getting hooked up on some of these links or these beautiful billet rod ends, go hit up summitmachine.com. You can check out the website. I do have a discount code for you guys, Niemela10, save you 10% off, which honestly adds up to quite a bit if you were to do this package here. Now, they don't have the discount code set up on the website, so you will have to call, email them, or message them. If you guys want to save some money, go that route. Let them know the discount code, save you guys some money. Now, I am so excited. Let's get the front end of this thing. We still got our PVC down there, so let's rip those links out, get all the rod ends swapped over into the aluminum, and get those on, get all the steering, the panhard, and then we'll tackle the rear. And also, one other thing they did on my panhard bar, which should be this one here. You can see it's clearanced a little bit. You can clearance this aluminum because it is a solid bar. I had a little bit of the panhard, you can see here, is pretty close at full stuff. It actually is hitting my diff cover. So I had the machine off 1/8 there. So that should give us a little more up travel. Just keep that away from smacking off of the diff cover. One thing I figured I'd do that would make my life much easier, and if you guys are setting up links as well, I think this is going to save so much time in the end when assembling these rod ends into the link bars. What I figured I would do is make sure that each joint is threaded into these bars the same amount on both sides, verified with the caliper down to, you know, within a couple thou. Honestly, you can get it really close. And then I do have my measurements from my mock-up bars for the total length from center to center. Now you got to be careful where you're measuring. If you're measuring center to center on the actual heim joint where the bolt goes through, that sleeve in there pivots, obviously. It rotates and moves around. So there's no saying that those are all identical, nice and perfectly straight. So I like to measure from somewhere that is perfectly identical on each and every joint. I figure we could go from the edge of this threaded surface out to the edge of the link bar. That should be identical on each and every joint and each and every bar. So we got the same exact measurements for thread engagement, and we have the same exact measurements for center to center. So as long as your brackets are welded into the frame in the right spot and on the axle in the right spot, we should be very close. There should be minimal adjustment to get this axle where we want it. Well guys, that's about what we're gonna be at for ride height. Now, I was going to kind of try to put this thing on its own weight, but being that I have to pull this shock mount off, I really don't want to weld it more, and I really don't trust those tack welds holding up the weight of the engine and everything. And another thing, I gotta figure out how I'm going to lift this thing. I can't put this arm in between the link and the frame there with this riser, obviously. So if I pull the riser off, then I can't get the rear on without the riser. So I got to figure out how I'm going to lift this thing. So this is going to be tricky to lift. So that's one other reason that I got to figure this out. But like I said, I just don't trust putting the weight on this shock mount with just tacked on. Well, that's it guys. Links turned out amazing. Like I said, if you guys want to check out these links or rod ends, these are both from Summit Machine. I'll have everything linked down below. I got a discount code for you. Go use it. Now the cool thing about these links and joints is you got to buy them one time and you'll probably never have to replace them. Like I said, these links are extremely strong. These joints are extremely strong. They last a long time and they're rebuildable. You can rebuild these things for $14 a piece. So you can't beat that. Very cheap to rebuild. And honestly, they last a very, very long time. Well, we just got in all of our steering. So stay tuned for the next video. We're gonna throw our GM column in. We got a new steering shaft, and then we got to fix our shock tower that is all messed up, hitting the coilover. So definitely stay tuned for that. I'm hoping next video we can kind of set this thing on its own weight. I'm really shooting for that. So like I said, I really don't trust putting the weight of this truck right now on tacked on shock mounts. Well anyways guys, that's a wrap for this one. I really hope you enjoyed it. Why don't you go smash that thumbs up button, comment, subscribe. We'll catch you in the next one.